man, it's been a while. Hey, we met.
It has been.
We like it.
Yeah.
On Mondays, we wear pink. Just, reinventing the Mean Girls on Tuesdays. We wear pink. We try it all the time. Hello, everyone. Hey, we're back. Thank you so much for joining us for KARE 11 News at noon. After an incredible 2 weeks of Olympic Games, the focus is now shifting to the presidential race. Lots happening there. We're checking in on the candidates, and when it comes to health, and it's always better together, right? So today, we're talking about the best ways to help older adults cope with the heat while staying active. And first, talking about heat, we got to check in with my main man, Jamie, because really and truly, this summer has not been terrible.
No, especially when you compare it to last summer. We had a lot of 90s. We've had a handful. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. It's still summertime, but it hasn't been oppressively hot and muggy. In fact, the last couple of days have been, well, below average around here. Here's a look outside, and yeah, the cloud cover pretty much from the Minnesota River Valley to the southwest. Not much in terms of any rainfall, although there could be a few spotty showers there as the day goes on, but expecting a good amount of sunshine for today. Let's take a look at the current conditions. Look at that beautiful skyline, beautiful blue sky, 75 degrees outside right now. That dew point at 51, so feeling very comfortable. Light breeze, and for the rest of the afternoon, again, we'll get up to about 80 degrees, a degree or two shy of our average, but overall, it is looking like it'll be an absolutely beautiful day around the region.
Jamie, thank you. The Democratic National Convention is a week from today, with Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz gaining momentum. And the Republican vice presidential nominee is hitting the airwaves as well, sharpening attacks on the Democrats. Here's Chris Pollone with your Decision 2024 coverage.
Vice President Kamala Harris back in Washington after a cross-country campaign blitz with her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The Democratic duo riding high after stops in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada drew crowds in the thousands. A new poll shows Harris leading former President Trump among likely voters in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, all within the margin of error.
Hey, Nevada!
The vice president launching a new policy proposal over the weekend.
When I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America, including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
It's not the first time that's come up.
We are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
The former president complaining online that Harris just copied my no taxes on tips policy. Republicans trying to blunt the Democrats' momentum, accusing the vice president of dodging policy questions. This as Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, denied Republicans' favor banning a key abortion drug just days after the former president said he was open to it.
And he said it repeatedly that his goal is not to block mifepristone, it's to let states make the decision on abortion policy.
And in his first interview since stepping aside, President Biden explained Sunday why he bowed out.
A number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races.
The president said he plans to campaign for Vice President Harris and is slated to speak at the Democratic National Convention next week. Chris Pollone, NBC News, Washington.
Well, two sources tell NBC News besides President Biden, former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton will be speaking at the Democratic National Convention, as well as former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Well, tonight, we'll hear from former President Donald Trump as he sits down with an interview with ex-owner Elon Musk. The conversation will stream live on X at 7 p.m. Musk says it's unscripted with no limits on subject matter and asked users to post specific questions and comments. Well, there's less than 24 hours until the polls are open for the state primary elections. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you're not sure where to vote, the Secretary of State's website has a tool where you can actually type in your address. It'll give you your polling place and show you a sample ballot. There's only one, with GOP races on the left and DFL races on the other. You can't cross-vote, though. You have to pick one party and stick with it. Since Friday, election officials have been testing ballot tabulators, making sure they're counting votes correctly and discreetly.
It's completely untraceable. No one knows whether a particular voter voted on the D side or the R side. Nobody knows.
And everyone's going to vote in the statewide races for U.S. Senate, but the race for house, depends on where you live. More on that in our next half hour. Well, we're waiting to learn the reason behind the Metro Transit Police Chief's paid leave. A member of the Met Council confirmed Friday that Chief Ernest Morales III is on leave, but would not provide any details like how long it would last. Morales has been on the job since February of 2023. In a little more than an hour, 22-year-old Elizabeth Weimerslage of Coon Rapids will appear in court. She is one of the daycare workers in Blaine charged after allegedly abusing babies. It was last month families at the Small World Learning Center came forward with allegations against her and another worker, 24-year-old Chloe Johnson. Police say surveillance video allegedly shows Johnson roughly handling an infant several times, even flipping a child over violently. Well, fears are growing that Iran could soon launch a full-scale attack on Israel. Multiple sources say an Iranian attack could happen any day now. The Israeli government told the public to stock up on food and water and prepare safe rooms at home. Iran is vowing revenge for the assassination of a Hamas leader on its soil.
Israeli intelligence services see more and more preparations in Iran and by Hezbollah in Lebanon for some sort of a joint or coordinated attack against Israel.
Hamas is also casting doubt on whether it will attend ceasefire talks with Israel as planned on Thursday. Well, the Pentagon says it's fortifying the U.S. military position in the Middle East. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered a guided missile sub to the region. The Pentagon also says Austin is accelerating the transit of a carrier strike group equipped with F-35C fighters. Now, this is new video of an extremely dangerous fire growing near Athens, Greece. It's been burning for more than 24 hours. More than 600 firefighters are trying to contain the fire that's being fueled by strong winds and prolonged drought conditions. The fire triggered numerous evacuation orders in the Greek capital. Well, with the end of the 2024 Paris Olympics, a new countdown is underway for LA 2028. It's been 40 years since Los Angeles last hosted the Olympics. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, a venue from the 1932 and 1984 games, will transition from a football field back into a track and field. It's expected to be the most expensive investment of the games, but one the planning committee believes is worth it.
To put a track back in means we have to spend about $150 million, and the track will go 14 rows into the stands. That's how big the competition field is. Because we have to put that in, we'll actually have the warm-up track underneath the track.
Wow, that's pretty cool. The Coliseum will be an important part of the opening ceremonies, but the Olympic torch will end its journey at SoFi Stadium, which will also serve as the Olympic swimming venue. What's also interesting is that there will be no permanent construction. More than 80 existing venues from across Southern California will hold Olympic events. Now, having the Olympics in the second largest city in the U.S. comes with its share of challenges, of course, including the city's legendary traffic. The games are going to be a car-free zone, which means if you want to go to any of the venues, you're going to have to take public transportation. Well, less than 24 hours ago, one of the golden girls of the Paris Olympics, Suni Lee of St. Paul, returned home to a hero's welcome. Suni arrived at And you hear it right there. Suni arrived at MSP Airport to a crowd of her supporters. Representative Khalif Vang Her helped organize Lee's welcome home. She's a pretty close family friend. There was also a group of girls from Suni's home gym, Midwest Gymnastics. Everyone said they were inspired by Suni, who came back to the sport after a kidney disease diagnosis in 2023.
So inspiring to know that she had that, and then she still just pushed through it.
I really like Suni Lee, and I want to be here one day.
I love it so much. Representation is important. Some of the politicians who greeted Lee included St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter and U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. Well, the excitement is just on pause in Paris. In a little more than 2 weeks, the 2024 Paralympic Games will begin, and they will run from the 28th all the way through September 8th. And we have 10 Minnesotans competing. We've been very lucky as well